Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sis Star Cipher. I think everyone is here. It's been a while. So, welcome back, ladies.
Yes, it's been a while. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for having us again. We've been waiting.
So, tonight we're going to be touching. So, it's about the holidays, right? I'm moving and shaking around. Like some people call it the holidays. I like to call it the holy days because no matter, just ladies, if you could mute your mic because I'm hearing some feedback. And then whenever you're ready to talk, we could just come on in. But I've been hearing, like I was saying about the holiday season. I used to, celebrate Christmas with a big old Christmas tree, gifts underneath the tree. It was really lovely. But as I went on in life and developed and, researched my own things, I am into the holy days, meaning that there is something special and sacred and divine about this season, about this time. The solstice, I believe, is on the 21st, 22nd of this month. And I'm just so happy to be here with you ladies that I consider my sis stars to be able to expand on this topic. And today's topic is loneliness, most especially loneliness around the holidays. So, as a warm up, I want everyone to introduce yourself. So, my name is Sparkle, Sparkle Denise. And I'm happy to be here with my sisters taking up this topic because a lot has changed for me in the last times. But before I get there, I just want to say that I'm happy that you all ladies made it. I know this time is not the most ideal time, holidays, hustle, bustle, the climate of everything we can think of, and us as leading ladies, mothers, and leaders, we feel the weight of it. So if we can have a safe space where we can unpack and hopes to uplift and empower others, I'm really happy to do that with you all. So I'm gonna go in order of appearance that I remember it. I'm gonna ask you your name. Tell us how you feeling today. Describe to me how you feeling. If you had to be a color, please tell me what color you're feeling. And also, the holidays carry different meanings for everyone. How do you personally define loneliness during this time of the year? All right, ladies. So the color you're feeling right now, as well as the question of how do you personally define loneliness um, around the holidays? And we are going to start with Kim.
Hi, ladies. My name is Kim. It is my pleasure to be with you all for the first time
Kim, are
today.
you there?
Yes, can you not hear me?
All right. So,
Heather gave a thumbs up. Heather, can you hear me? Yeah.
okay, got
Okay.
it.
Again, it's my pleasure to be here with you all for the first time. Um, how am I feeling today? I'm feeling under the weather, and I am going to give the color yellow. I can go, but at a slower pace. Um, and during the holidays, loneliness. That's being at home by myself. I do live alone, so that's something that I avoid doing. And I'm fortunate to have family members around that I can spend the holidays with, so that I'm not home alone. So um, being brings loneliness because again I live at home alone.
Okay, what color did you say?
I said yellow because
Okay.
I'm not feeling well, and I pick yellow because I can go and move but at a slow pace.
Okay. So you giving yellow traffic light. I'm thinking yellow sunshine.
Now yellow.
Okay. All right, I got it. All right. So I believe no, I'm just checking. Let me see. Who came in next? It wasn't you, Tanya.
I can come. I can go
It was you,
next.
Tanya. Can you please tell me the color you're feeling today, and also what does loneliness around the holidays mean for you personally?
Well, my name is Tanya. During the holidays, I don't feel like lonely during the holidays, but I do understand maybe people feeling lonely when they leave,
Like
when
Jack.
loved ones has passed on, and they feel some type of void. I do get that as I get older. I
I
experience
think you
that
have to
differently.
on the last panel the
Can
mic
you hear me?
symbol.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I Sparkle. You may be the only one experiencing some difficulties hearing us because Heather was able to hear me and I'm able to
Okay.
hear Tanya.
All right.
Yeah.
So from now on, we're gonna do that thumbs up. That seemed to work. All right, ladies. Thank you.
Yes. Again, but I'm saying I don't experience loneliness during the holidays,
So
but I
I
do
might be a delay.
understand. Can you hear me, Sparkle? But I
So you
do
can go ahead,
understand
Tanya. The color that you're feeling
the
today.
the color that I'm feeling today. I was also going to say yellow, but mine is for happiness and sunshine and bright and things like that. I'm a caregiver, so I'm always just helping others. So even during the holidays, like my kids are grown, but I'm always giving to my clients, to others, to family. I'm just a giving person. But like I was explaining, but I do understand the loneliness that people have when the way they grieve, like special loved one isn't there for the holidays. Because as I get older, I am experienced like it's harder for me to deal with things that people had passed on. So I do understand how people can feel during the holidays. I was finished, Sparkle. I was finished, Sparkle.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to use the volume a different way because I'm having technical difficulties. But you all can hear each other, correct?
Yes.
All right. So then there, I'll figure it out. So the next person, please just flow on the question, which is the color you are feeling today, and then what does the holidays mean to you personally with loneliness? So you ladies, go ahead and flow.
But I
Ladies,
think
go
Tasha,
ahead and flow.
next person in, if I can just jump in and help. Tasha was right after me that entered the room. Is it Tasha? Oh, I can't see the name.
Tracy?
Tracy,
It was actually Heather.
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 They did tell
Yeah,
on me. I don't know if I had to think of a color. I guess I would be a green because I feel like right now I just had a rush of a lot of good energy come my way, which is a lot of good things are about to happen, and I'm holding them in right now and getting excited to share at some point. So that is what I am right now. Um, Loneliness isn't something I have now during the holidays, but I did when I used to miss my father because I was raised by a single father. So he every Christmas was always amazing, no matter what it was. It was I loved it no matter what he did. So loneliness is for me, I think would be thinking about those who are without and how do I get them together with me, or how do I help, or how do I donate, or how do I volunteer? Um, so I feel like that is loneliness, like how I would handle loneliness during holidays. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. I am Sister Tioka, and I am totally upset at Heather right now. She didn't just take my color. She took like
Pastor
all my
Pavone.
words. Like what? So I guess I can add on to what she's saying. So like I picked green. Not just green, but like evergreen. One is I like how Kim was talking about the stoplight, the red, the yellow, and green. So I pick green because I feel like I'm always on go. And this the energy that goes on with that. But then also like an evergreen tree that it never loses the leaves. I mean, unless you cut it down and put it in your house for the holiday. Um, you know, it just keep being green throughout all of the seasons. So I identify with the green because I feel like, regardless of what's going on, the different seasons, the different trials, ups and downs, that I try to maintain that green, that go. Um, Loneliness during the holiday, I think it's more for me. When you have children, it's very difficult to be lonely because you kind of create that family construct, whether you celebrate the holidays or the holy days the way everyone else do, you still wind up creating a tradition of your own within your home. Um, when I think of loneliness, I think back to my childhood. I think that's where I can experience it the most. Um, because uh, we were like I didn't grow up like really heavy into the holidays. I Meaning that, as a child, I remember not being able to keep up with the Joneses. um, Whether it be family or friends, and my mother didn't care. She did what she can do, and she didn't give us the illusion that there was, uh, an entity that was going to provide gifts and stuff for us. So she was very real with that. And then as I grew into my lifestyle, one, I'm a Muslim, so I don't technically celebrate the holy days the way other people do. So right now, as Sister Sparkle mentioned, like we're in a season of holidays or holy day where we just came out of Thanksgiving, which we don't celebrate what happened with the Native Americans, but we do celebrate family. So it's a big family day for us. And then we transition right into Christmas, and then also Hanukkah and comes up, and then Kwanzaa comes up as well, which is it's just another festive occasion. So the loneliness I'm typically concerned about is the loneliness of peers. I know a lot of people have lost people, and the grieving process is real. And
Mm.
I'm always like mindful of that. So I kind of feel it for other people more than myself. That how do I help to fill that void, or what words can I use to say to help them understand that the grieving process it can actually be healthy. It can actually be healthy. So that's it.
Hello? Is it mine? Oh no, I was last.
Why don't you just go ahead?
Me, Tracy. Good evening. My name is Tracy. I'm feeling pink right now. I'm feeling real positive about things that's going on. Really grateful. I feel grateful right now for life. Um, just being able to be here and talk. Just to have the energy to speak right now is something that is wonderful for me. Loneliness. I don't feel the loneliness. My son is here with me right now. He don't celebrate the holidays because of his religious beliefs, and of course, I still put my tree up, and I just keep myself busy. And I've really never felt loneliness during the holidays because I guess because I've had my children. That's the time when I had the most fun during the holidays is when I had them because we always bake or cook or watch, like Sound of Music is on right now, and low key trying to watch that while I'm doing this at the same time. So I really haven't felt that. Um, Maybe when my son moves out to have his own thing, I still probably won't because I'm gonna go to his house or my niece's house or somebody else's house. But um, I haven't experienced that, and I'm grateful that I haven't experienced that type of loneliness yet. And What else was the sparkle?
Oh, that you're feeling pink. I think we got your color, right?
Yes, pink, because I feel real bright and happy and feeling good.
And I'm so
So
happy that all you ladies are here. Thank you, Tracy.
yes.
Thank you for everything that you ladies said while I was having technical difficulties with my audio. Um, so we're just gonna keep it flowing. I believe there's one other person. Is it Miss Erudite?
Hold on. Yes, I'm here, Sparkle. I would say green. I'm feeling euphoric. I woke up, I did some yoga and qigong, and I had dinner about 5:30. I have a lot of energy. Now, when it comes to the holiday, I don't celebrate any pagan holidays. I come from a large 5%, the nation of the gods and earth. So we don't celebrate those type of holidays. And even with Thanksgiving, I know the truth behind it. And even, always getting together with family. And I don't have my mother, my brother, or my sister who transitioned for the past couple of years, but there's still other siblings that are here. And I don't never feel lonely because I don't. I have my sister's son who came back, and now he's here with me, and he was in Arizona. So I never feel lonely. Even me, and I don't have any children, but I never feel lonely because I'm always taking care of everybody else's children. So loneliness, I never had that.
Wow. Um, so I don't think I got to say my color, but I'm gonna say it's purple because I feel like I'm surrounded but nothing but royalty. When I'm here, I'm really grateful that I have this platform, and I wanted to, flow right into exploring the root of loneliness. At this section, I would like us to encourage reflection on the societal, cultural, and personal aspects of loneliness. We just talked about the personal aspects of loneliness, but I also wanted to talk about the cultural pressures. What do you think contributes to the heightened feelings of loneliness during the holidays, especially for women? Have you ever experienced a moment where you have to reframe loneliness? What did the process look like for you? Or do you feel loneliness is experienced based on life, stage, culture, or relationships? So I guess I want to do the diverse experiences since it's a diverse set of ladies here tonight. Do you feel loneliness is experienced differently based on life stage, culture, or relationships? That question would be for you, Kimberly.
I would say relationships. And when I say relationships, not necessarily meaning a partner or mate, but relationships with family, friends, co-workers. And if you don't have any social contacts, loneliness can come a lot into play. And some people prefer to be by themselves during the holidays for their own reasons, and that's okay. And some people don't mind attaching to that, don't mind creating their own loneliness because it's a time for them, an opportunity for them to like reflect, just enjoying time to themselves, while others prefer not to. And if you do not have any type of contact with family, friends, coworkers, whomever, loneliness can definitely creep in, and it can lead into many other things, such as depression. So to sum it up, I would say, on the relationship side, if that doesn't exist, it can really settle in. But again, people find creating their own loneliness because that's what they prefer during the holidays because what it gives them is it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing.
Did anyone else like to speak to that same
Well, I agree with what she said totally when it have to do with relationships. I agree.
So for me, I'm just going to put myself right on out there because my stars are here. That I just recently transforming, or I guess like, or naturally disconnecting from a relationship. And this relationship has had an impact on me because that's just what relationships do. You know, you stay in the barbershop long enough, you get a haircut. So, what I mean by that is that the human brain, actually, studies have shown that after just a couple of years with a partner or a relationship, then you pretty much, your minds, two minds can become one, or you can become like mind. So, when I'm disconnected from a relationship, and I also have lost relationships, like Miss Erudite spoke about, you know, not having certain family anymore, people who have that you have known personally along your journey and have actually passed just this year, leading up to this call that we're on today. And you know, there's a sense of grief there. um you know, and then so that's loneliness for me, as far as, you know, I feel like a part of me is missing. And then I keep myself busy. I have to like stay hyper. I have to, not hyper, but I have to be really conscientious about the way I'm spending my time, because if not spent properly around these holy days, it can either go left or right, or I could get off balance really quickly. Um, so I just was wondering, did anybody want to speak to that, or I have those two other questions. I wanted to explore that.
I think I'll go next. Um, so my dad passed away when I was 15, and I was bounced all over to a lot of places. And I know we've talked about this in the past. So it was really hard for a long time when holidays would come up, and I would see everybody having this wonderful time with family, and I would just be living with people that I was kind of associated with, but I just was a place to stay. So over time, I started making friends, my family, doing things with friends, you know, gathering with friends and creating a new tradition for myself, because that was my way of coping with loneliness. Um, and it's great nowadays to see that there are more things that people do, like Friendsgivings and things like that, because not everybody has family. So that was one of the ways that I dealt with loneliness, and now feel much better about, and I'm not sad as much about anymore, because now I've developed all these friendships of people I have traditions with, and my son now. So that's what how some of the ways I've dealt with it. And I feel like friendships can carry a lot of weight, and they're just as good as family. So yeah.
I would like to add, according to the definition of loneliness, it says sad because one has no friends or company. And so, because that's such a matter of fact definition, it's hard to settle on the idea of what we're suffering from is loneliness. Um, and that's not to take away from the title. It's just to give a little bit more definition. Like the Sister Kim, when she was saying how, you know, so there's a selective thing that happens as well. You know, sometimes people isolate, and then it needs to be done, especially when you're around so many different personalities, with family, friends, work, you know, what have you. Sometimes it really is good to learn the art of being alone, so that you can know yourself better. Like, what do I like? And because we spend a lot of time, especially as parents, but even as just in different relationships, as we look at the word relationship, the word relate is in the word relationship. And that means that you spend a lot of time trying to relate with other individuals and other personalities and other traditions and other, well, you get what I'm saying. So sometimes you do need to regulate, and that loneliness is not really negative. It's more of something that you need to do to reset yourself, you know, so that you can go ahead and continue to figure out how to relate with another individual. But when there's a breakup, which is considered an infinity break, it's like an abortion. Something that at one point was really dear to you that you spent a lot of time with, you're breaking away from them. It's like a death. So um, the idea of a break is like akin to a divorce. It's like you are killing a side of yourself that you had spent a lot of time relating with someone else. And so loneliness don't come with that. Grieving comes with that. So when you look at it from that point, because you do have friends like, Sparkle, you mentioned, being, somebody being in a relationship for a while and then not being in that relationship. That's when people kind of, try to go back and spend time to yourself and then spend time relating with people, maybe touching bases with people they haven't touched base with in a while as you go through that painful situation. But it's not loneliness by definition because you're not by yourself. You have friends, you have family, you have, children. It's grieving. So when you look at the grieving process, when you look at it as grieving and you look at the grieving process and what's actually happening to us while we grieve, we're actually preserving the memories of an individual. That's all we're doing. Good memories and bad memories. And as we're trying to make the decision on who am I without this person and how I can be myself now that I've moved on from this person, sometimes we battle with the good and the bad memories. Those good memories makes us feel like it hurts to grieve. Like I'm going to miss this person. I'm not going to have this person anymore. But that's grief, and grief is the preservation of those memories. But the real grief comes from the fact that you cannot no longer make those memories with that person anymore. So like in the sense of a loved one. When a loved one passes away, you can't make any more memories with them. That's what you're grieving. So you're like, hold on to those memories. So every time you think about this person, you're in that process. But when it's a break in a relationship, sometimes it's okay to not deal with those memories, to actually don't deal with the loneliness in the sense of I need to be around people, right? I need to make new memories with other people. I need to make new memories with myself. So I'm not trying to be preachy, but I just wanted to clear the word loneliness because it's very important that when we're sitting in our loneliness, are we sad because we have no friends and no company? Are we? Do we not have friends and company? But when it comes down to the holiday, we may be sad because our loved ones is far away and we can't be in company of them. So that was my take.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced a moment where you had to reframe loneliness, reframe it? Like, what did the process look like for you, Tracy?
I've been through that process of being lonely and feeling by myself. As for these last couple years being in the hospital in and out and things like that, felt lonely when I was downstate or just recently in June when friends couldn't come and visit me. I felt lonely and I was like, dang, wow, what's going on, But then when I was able to express it to them, they were able to take it, listen to me, and they were glad that I expressed how I felt because I usually would just keep going. They were happy, and I was glad that they were receptive. Um, and it didn't make them feel bad because I'm mindful of my friends' feelings, which that's what I love about my friends that I have because we're mindful of each other, and when need to be told, we'll tell each other. So I was mindful of the times that I told them and things of that nature. So that I felt lonely then, and even though I do have my friends and my family, I felt lonely learning about the diagnosis of what was going on with me and things like that. So that made me feel lonely because I'm the only person that have it. And then I understood how my son felt when he was younger, when he was diagnosed with T1D. So, but I don't really feel it like that because I don't know, I'm just the kind of person where I always have people around me, not around me, but I had to spend time and be away from people for a while. And I felt that God put me in that place just so that way I could learn. There's a lot of things I learned within these 2 years, even just most recently now. Like I guess I was doing too much. And then he said, sit down again and let me teach you again. So I didn't feel lonely because I knew my friends are a phone call away or around the block or anything. But just to sit by myself, um, it was nice to learn myself. I've always been that person to just go out by myself or coffee shop, go have a drink by myself, go dine by myself. So I've been that person. But to get deep down inside, this was something different for me. This was something different, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to sit by myself for these last 2 years. Not straight through 2 years, not 24 months sitting by myself. Probably would have lost my mind. But just to be able to sit here and take my time. And when I went walking, I wasn't walking 50 miles per hour. I was walking real slow. So that also was a good thing for me too. And even like now this Christmas, it took me 8 hours just to put the tree up and put it together. But I did it, and I did it by myself, but it was nice though, because I didn't want to wait for nobody. So it was loneliness. I mean, I really don't experience that. Like, and I like the way you put that, Trioka, because I have a lot, I'm not gonna say a lot of friends, but I have a great circle of friends that I really enjoy. A great circle, a wonderful circle, so, and my family too. So that's why I said I don't really experience that. And my grandparents are the only people that I could really think of that really had an impact on my life around this time of the holiday. Like my grandmother would give me money and she'd be like, Tracy, don't go up to the store and go spend your money off for everybody else and then not buy yourself something. Because I'm good for buying everybody else, but I wouldn't buy myself anything. And she'll always be upset, like, stop. And I'm still that way to this day. I went out, bought cashews. I was like, oh, I didn't know you wanted cashews for the house. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll give him my cashews. That way he'll have enough for him and his kids. And I said, oh, hold up. No, that was the old Tracy. I was like, here, take mine. And left me with nothing. I said, well, that's what I bought. I apologize. Next time, I'll bring you some more cashews. But you can't take mine. I'm not giving up mine. So, and in that instant, I'm like, wow, okay. That time spent by myself was well worth it because I would have been like, here, take it. No, not anymore. Sorry. I love you, but can't do it. So this is my first time like really not having any gifts for anybody this year. I didn't buy nothing for nobody. And I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. I don't, because there was a time when I couldn't even afford gifts anyway for my son who was 1 years old and I was having chemotherapy. And the only thing I did was go to the Salvation Army and I was able to pick up three things. I always think little kids should have a Little Tykes school bus or something from Little Tykes, something homemade, of course, in which was the elderly people, they put the crochet hats together and stuff. And I was just like, this was the best Christmas ever because that was my last day of chemo. So I was like, so this doesn't bother me to have fake Christmas boxes under my tree with nothing in it because guess what? People walk around like that, gift wrap looking real beautiful with nothing inside, you know? So me, I walk around, I feel beautiful, I look beautiful, and I have a lot of substance inside. So I'm happy that I'm able to even just be able to do this and not be lonely now that I understand more of what it means with my friends and things like that, and be able to watch the sound of music.
Can I just reflect on what Tracy said? There was one part where she said she gave an understanding of loneliness with a diagnosis. You gotta have everybody around you, and everybody is trying to empathize and sympathize. And show you, and the gratitude is there. The gratitude is there, right? But when you're in your mind and you're trying to figure out what's going on with me, that is a sense of that's a real sense of loneliness. Unless you have someone, you find someone, you seek somebody out that had that type of diagnosis, and then y'all can sit and y'all can talk about the different experiences and stuff like that. But when you're talking to people and nobody really can reflect or relate with what you're, that is a sense of loneliness. So thank you for expressing that part. I mean, you even brought your son into the mix too to explain, like, wow, based off of what I went to, I can kind of see what he could have been going through when he was dealing with what he was dealing with. And I think that is something that actually shapes the more clear, comprehensive understanding of loneliness, of suffering through something, and it ranges, single parenthood, losing a loved one. So losing a loved one is a whole nother level, but then how can I, just feeling like you're the only one, like you have no one else that can relate to that. Wow, that was deep. Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tracy. That was beautiful. I got a little teary. I was trying not to.
And I want everybody to know what it is. It's called myasthenia gravis. So it affects your involuntary muscles. Involuntary muscles are like your eyes and everything, your heart, lungs. And the only reason why I'm saying that, because I would like to make sure everybody understands and knows. Like if you see me on the street and all of a sudden I fall down, I could be all right, just help me up or something like that. If you just see my eye closing, it doesn't mean that I'm being like, if I'm looking away, it's because I want my eye to shut sometime. And also donating plasma is very important for people that have myasthenia gravis. I don't ever say that I have it. I don't ever say it's something for me. I say this is what the doctors say I have. So this is what it is. But plasma is very important for people that have this disease because it's something that they need to flush out their good and the bad antibodies out. So if you ever get a chance, you want to donate plasma because people need plasma bad. They need it. So if you get a chance, just take a chance or opportunity to do it. Donate plasma. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for that. So I would like us now to spend some time to redefine loneliness. And I appreciate you, Sister Tioka, for giving us the Google it definition or look it up or the definition. But we're going to take the time as Sis Stars. Where am I? Here I am. To actually redefine loneliness. And I would like us to explore how loneliness is a normal human experience rather than a personal feeling. Like I'm lonely because no one likes me, something's wrong with me. Um, and I would also like to discuss how it's okay to feel this way, especially during a season that emphasizes togetherness. And I want to say it all started around harvest, so like someone said, Friendsgiving earlier. I think that is a good idea. I didn't think about it like that. I just didn't really know what it was. I was thinking about people giving each other something. But I think that's a good concept. So, and I also wanted to talk about embracing solitude after that, because I heard someone say solitude too. I guess that's one of the ways of coping. Um, what did I just say? Someone take it up from there, because I'm gonna go ahead. Heather, I'm gonna go with you.
So you're asking for redefining it now? Like, how do we redefine
Yes.
loneliness?
Like, I feel like it's a normal thing. We all know that we're not alone.
Yeah.
However, the feeling of loneliness, I think, is a normal feeling through
Okay.
our journey. Rather than a personal feeling like something's wrong with us or me or you.
Yeah. I think something I always try to remind myself is loneliness is a normal thing. However, I always like to say that even if the sky's dark, there's always blue sky behind it, that this will pass, things will be okay. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to Kingdom Choir. I went and saw them at the Stanley Theater And one thing did you see anybody see it? They were really great. And the woman leading it said something about how every morning we wake up with joy. We have the opportunity to wake up with joy. And I just found that to be like when she was talking about it, true. Every morning we wake up with joy. We have the opportunity. And I really like that. But one of the ways that, I deal is I know that things will be okay, that this is something I'm processing right now. But there is a blue sky beyond all the gray. So when life gives you lemons, Domino's gives free pizza. There you go. Sorry, Dad. Get your emergency pizza when you order online. Only from Domino's.
I think she wants us to just continue to try to redefine loneliness. So, like everybody feels it. I think my redefine it. Like I think Tracy helped me with the redefine it, whereas when it comes down to a particular circumstance. Because like what Sparkle said, like there is a dictionary definition, feeling sad because you're, lonely, because you're by yourself, you don't have any friends or companions. But I think looking at it as a situational thing, it's like, when do I feel, then you have to like redefine, like, when do I feel lonely, do I feel lonely in the holiday because of the way that I understand the holiday? Does that make me feel lonely because I don't celebrate the holiday like everyone else? Do I feel lonely because because like what Sparkle said, like during this time of year is supposed to promote togetherness? I don't necessarily struggle with that, but I understand that there's a level of sensationalism that's attached to it. And whenever I think of sensationalism, I think that someone is trying to control the way that I celebrate or the way I do things. It's like I have to go along with their narrative. I have to be, I have to be like that. And so for me personally, I don't necessarily subscribe to that because even though I love Christmas music, let me tell you, I can sing every last one of them. Okay. I had a choir and I used to, teach children Christmas songs, dance. I have a dance group. We dance to Feliz Navidad, you name it. I love Christmas music. And I also love the Hallmark movies and stuff, where they're really pouring into togetherness and family and stuff like that. But it doesn't, though, for me, the dramatization of it is a level of sensationalism that can be dangerous to certain mindsets, because if they don't have that and they don't understand how to balance their feelings, during this holiday season, this is when a lot of suicide take place, a lot of criminal activity take place, and it's all centered around someone trying to create the image that was given to us as an illusion. And for me, that's kind of like it's unfair. So I like the idea of creating your own, creating your own tradition instead of trying to keep up with the imagery that's put out there that if you don't have this, then you're not celebrating this correctly. I grew up in a projects in Brooklyn. Like we did not have a chimney. So even though I sat in the project windows and I sung Christmas songs and I counted all the lights in the windows, I knew when no Santa Claus was not coming, they couldn't get in. There was no chimney. But the movies made me feel like I was supposed to believe that, the imagery. That was as a youngster, and that's why I said I can go back to a youngster. As a young person, that made me feel a sense of loneliness because I couldn't experience what I seen on TV. That's why I think it's dangerous in some case, some cases, because we do try to figure out how to, if we don't have that, we don't have all of the gifts, and we don't have all of that love that they portray in the TV on a Hallmark channel. And if we don't have a mind to be able to understand that it's, theater, then we feel like we're missing something. Why my family not like that? Why my mommy and daddy not together? Why my daddy ain't coming? You know what I mean? Why he didn't surprise me instead of go, all that stuff. As a little girl, I remember my dad was in the Coast Guards, and I thought he wasn't going to come home for Christmas. Is when we lived in Savannah, Georgia, and he came out the helicopter with a Santa Claus, and I remember I got my first. Well, I got a Miss Piggy. It was a Miss Piggy doll. I used to love Miss Piggy doll. She had so curly hair.
Oh, she did.
And I still remember that because as a 5, 6 year old, I was told that that's what this is supposed to feel like. And not having that creates a void. You know what I'm saying? Not having that. So yeah, the loneliness part is like when you settle on gratitude and you realize that the people that are around you, that's what it's about. That's what the holy days is. Having friends and family around you, opposed to trying to keep up with the imagery. Then it's hard to feel lonely for me.
So I can just jump right in. So I was, as you Heather and Tioko, did I pronounce your name correctly?
Tioka.
Tioka, sorry.
That's okay.
So as you both were speaking, I was thinking a lot and taking it in. And loneliness, you can be around many people, your loved ones, your family, and still feel lonely. And I think loneliness is a sense of feeling. It could be, like someone said, circumstantial, how you're feeling in that moment. Again, I can be around my friends and family and still feel out of it by myself. And then again, I can also be alone, physically alone, and not feel lonely, right? So it can, to redefine it, it can take on many definitions, and it can also just be depending on where you're at in that moment, in that time, because you can feel lonely today and be okay. You can feel lonely in the next hour and not be okay. So I think it's something, at least for myself, my definition for loneliness and how I would redefine it, it depends on my circumstance in that moment, and what I'm feeling in that moment.
I would like to say what I did with my friends, because we live so far away. One of the things that I created was so we didn't feel this way around the holidays, because all of our family used to live downstate in New York City. So I created something where all of our friends would come to my house, and also we all had children at the time that were so young. So every Christmas, the first Christmas we did it, I asked the kids what the Christmas mean to them. I made cookies. We will always make something homemade every year. We did a Chris Kringle. So we created our own little hot special holiday fun for our kids, hoping that our children would keep up with the tradition of meeting up. And I always felt like when they go away to college or when they start doing their own thing, I always wanted the kids to always come back together and meet up with each other at least one side of the year. That way they can see the growth. Oh, what are you doing now? Just to keep them together. Um, some of the children actually had Friendsgiving together. And the other one, mainly like the guys. We only had one girl throughout our whole thing. Well, we have two now. But they still kept in contact, and I think that's a great thing to do. Like you said, is creating your own memories, and that's something that I created with my friends and our children. Was we always came together for Christmas, before Christmas Day, and we always had our Kris Kringle. We had to buy something for each other. The kids did it among themselves, and adults did it among us. And then we would do breakfast every year, every Christmas. since our kids were young. I think this is the first Christmas that we're not having Christmas breakfast. Every year we would have Christmas breakfast at my friend Christina's house. Every year. And I will always go, even if I have to go to work, I would come there and I would just call in late. Lord knows I don't need to call in late. But that's what we did. We did that. So I think creating stuff is just so much fun. And I enjoyed it and the kids enjoyed it. And I have these huge steps in my house and all the kids sit on the steps and we take a picture. And matter of fact, I'm gonna send that to them. And it was just, it's so fun. It's so personal. And I miss that part because now they're like in their 20s and stuff like that now. So creating memories are very important just so you don't feel that, and we got these phones and we can always look back. Snapchat, Facebook bring up these memories that could be happy, and also at the same time it's like, man, I miss that. But I want us to all remember, let's look at the positive side of things and let's just enjoy this life and be thankful that we can even be here right now, because we never know from here to Christmas what may happen. I'm praying for positivity and just love life and just live it wholesome, you know. When it snows, just go in the snow and play in the snow, make a snow angel. When I see grown people that's incarcerated, it's snow outside, he's jumping, he's flipping the snow. I'm like, this guy crazy. Nah, he's enjoying life right now and he don't care who's looking. So let's just enjoy it. That's it. Right.
Okay. Thank you. You ladies have been flowing so lovely. Tanya, I haven't heard from you in a little while. Would you like to add or subtract anything?
Oh, I'm just listening. I'm
Okay.
here. I'm enjoying everything. Everything sounds good, beautiful. It is heartfelt and touching. So I'm enjoying it.
So I guess I have to ask you because I have my own perspective about um, solitude. What do you feel? I guess not. What do you feel? I would like to help other people know that solitude is okay. What positive lessons have you learned from moments of solitude during the holidays?
What have I learned? Hmm. That's something I would have to think about. But I learned really, Sparkle, like my thing is, you know me, I'm always giving, I'm always trying to be around family, and I'm always trying to do for family. That's just me. I'm always a giving person. Like right now, I'm on mute because I'm wrapping gifts. Right now. I'm wrapping gifts. All my kids are grown, but I got all these grandkids, and I just be trying to help others that probably can't do it by themselves. So I'm just always in the giving spirit. Even if I don't have much, even if I don't have much, I always try to always give a dinner. And I
Mm,
do like family traditions. I think that is so important.
yes, thank you. And
Okay.
Miss Erudite, I have a question for you. When it comes to self
Okay.
care practices, are there
Are there
rituals or
rituals or
practices
practices
you
you
developed to
develop
support
to
yourself
support
during lonely
yourself during
times?
long time?
Well, I don't do not any rituals. I don't deal with any of that, but the practices of yoga, white tiger, qigong, wing chun, um, Pilates, strength training, anything with working out, absolutely. Because, like I said, my brother, my mother, 5 months later, then my sister, 13 months later. And for me to be the one that had to take care of everything, I went to my yoga mat or Pilates, something to continue to cope. While certain other people may have had a nervous breakdown and wind up in an institution. That's not me. Knowing that I have the knowledge of self, knowing that I control mind over matter. Some people can't control because they knowledge of self and they felt victim. So they can wind up going into an institution. That's why people say you didn't have a breakdown. I said, no, my breakdown was in Qigong. My breakdown was Pilates, yoga. That was my breakdown. My breakdown don't mean that I have to go into a mental institution. I took whatever I was going through and put it into something to elevate, to keep me going. I had to, because I seen what it did to other family who went into the institution. And I said, that's not gonna, that's why people were like, how you, come on, you have to come out your pocket. I said, it's not even about the pocket. It's about losing the loved one back to back to back. So that's what it was. And then when you have a family, just because you don't want putting everything together, then you have somebody that's probably older than you, but she's not the business one. It was just all over the place. So before I deal with drama, it's not going to happen. I'm going to do what I need to do to keep myself going, because life has to go on. And I think that comes with the knowledge of self, knowing who you are.
All right, I agree with you, my sister. Tell them, Miss Evadite.
That's what it is.
Knowledge
Knowing who
of
you are. That's the knowledge of self. If you don't have no knowledge of self, you ain't going to be able to cope with anything. How are you going to deal with anybody if you don't know who you are? That comes first. Knowledge of self.
So I do agree with you about the yoga, because I remember being in yoga earlier this year and like bleeding over this yoga instructor. I cried so hard on her arm. So like it
Mm-hmm.
just cradled me. First of all, I don't even know where it came from. And then she was able, I'm also a yoga instructor. So, another yoga instructor getting me to like, first of all, where did that all come from? It must have came from that down dog that I didn't think I could do, but did it. I don't know.
Right.
But I finished after the fourth session. I wept on her for about a half an hour each shoulder. She let me shift from one shoulder to the next. So there is something, some people call it somatic, if that's the proper term. There is something in
Yeah,
stretching
somatic yoga is great.
and breathing and just relaxing your body, but still being aware and, flexing your bones. There's just something in that's, I don't know, Sister Tioka, as a wellness instructor and coach, I believe that a lot of trauma is held in the pelvic hips or something area. That's what we're saying.
It's
I'm not
true.
sure.
It is. Especially in women. The trauma is always held in the pelvic area, the uterus for women. Reproductive area is where the trauma is going to be held.
So for me, I've been triggered lately when a lot of people online are saying, men are saying, oh, I want a woman that's a virgin. Oh, I need a woman who is pure, a woman that is this. And I'm like, what do you say to the woman who has lost their virginity through rape? I haven't yet to found a narrative that covers that. Or when there's a lot of children that are being taken advantage of before they even understand what touch is.
Right.
And what do you, if that's raped out of you or molested out of you, how do you even connect to another, being that they say that the connection of sacred union, sex, is considered to be sacred if it was raped to you and you trying to heal and you trying to move forward. It's like, what are you guys saying? Y'all expecting all of this stuff from women, and all y'all doing is, digging a hole deeper for us when it comes to
Mm-mm.
grief, because you really have no intentions on loving us the way we deserve. So, I mean, I know I'm going off a little bit, but listen, 'tis the season, right? Let me hear something, sisters.
But I would say this, let me just segue what you're saying. But you do have some women who has been through certain traumas in life, but did not go through the womb healing. When you go through traumas of the womb, you must go through the womb healing. So there are people who have been raped and molested and all type of things that have happened to them that was not that was beyond their control. Now, when a woman, before a woman even to get in a relationship, that woman should go through the healing process of the womb.
And what does that look like, ladies?
Womb healing is it's not that it's yoga, but there's breathing and speaking positive and things like that into the body and healing with different frequencies as well. Any trauma through the womb, before a person move on, they should go through the womb healing process.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I don't know how we got on this topic, but obviously we were meant to land here. If I can just add to what Sister, how do you say your name? Miss Edrenite? Can you say your name?
Yeah, Eurydice, Miss Eurydice, correct.
Eurydice, that's nice. If I can just add to what she's saying is regarding womb healing. Whew. And the sacredness of the womb, which is the workshop of the God, period. And whenever someone violates that space, first of all, for a woman, that's an out-of-body experience. There's not a connection to an individual that would take something away from you without you giving permission. Right? So a woman can't be charged based off of someone taking something that she didn't give permission to. But the healing process, I agree that it's the healing of the womb, but there's two wombs that exist in a woman. You have the physical womb, which is the laboratory where creation is recreated, but there's also the mental womb, and it has to be a connection between those two wombs in order for the healing process to happen. So, Sister saying, no, you have to have knowledge yourself. You absolutely have to know thyself. You have to sit in it and understand that what had happened to you did not define you. You have to rediscover your value as a woman and what you're here for. What's your aim and purpose? And no one fix that. A man can't fix it. The knight on shining armor can't fix it. That is a relationship between you and the higher power that is directly inside of you. We are equipped with all that we need to create change as long as we are practicing mindfulness. I don't mean mindfulness with humming and chanting. I mean really mind-body connection. And that's why it's important to understand that we possess two wombs. Every idea that we put in our brain, in our mind, we see it come into fruition. That's a womb. There are people who can't bear children for whatever reason. Sometimes it's because of that situation that Spark was talking about. You may not be able to bear a child physically after that if damage is done, but you can produce the same likeness from your mind. So the reality is, yeah, it has to be the work with the two wombs. It can't be just the physical womb, because the physical womb is not enough. You have to connect it to that second womb, which is the mind, because you're the only way is to think yourself and will yourself through that process. Some would say therapy. Personally, that's a trending thing. I grew up, and this is very controversial, but I grew up, that the therapist was the rapist. I mean, when you look at the way it's broken down, they will, it's in some cases, they will bring out stuff of you, but don't have the ability to help you to identify what's going on with you and the tools to help you bring it out. And sometimes these painful, traumatic experiences is so painful that when you start to talk about it and you don't have control or the tools on how to deal with what you're talking about, it becomes even more harmful. And that's when people tend to lose their mind. So, yeah, sister girl, that wound work is real, but it can't just be focusing on the physical. I don't know how we got on this discussion. We need like a whole topic for this.
And I don't even know what I'm supposed to say next. Somebody take the wheel now, because that was
Honestly, I think
woo,
that
baby Heather. Somebody
I mean, we all have our religious
crazy.
we all have our different religious beliefs about Christ and Christmas, but as Christmas, so we say, the birth of Christ. So I think that's how we got here, because it's the birth of Christ. I don't know how he got here through, if it was the appropriate way or not. Sharon, can you turn that down, please? Excuse me. So maybe that could be the reason we was just led here through that reason, because it's the birth of something new. So now we're learning something new now, you know. And as Yoga said about therapy, it took me all these years. I never went to a therapist, but I realized I came upstate New York to fake go to college, right? But then I realized my real reason for coming to college was because I was running away from my grandmother's death, who died in front of me. So from running away from that, and then I realized it, and I'm like, oh, okay. Now I'm able to go back to college and complete it now. So I just feel that we were here. That I think that's why we came into this topic right here, just to birth, and like you said, like Sister said, knowing yourself, so important. Knowing yourself, and Sparkle and I speak about this all the time. We know things, but we have to be consistent and true to ourselves. And I'm gonna leave it like that on that note right there. I'm over here about to have some
Tracy, I'm
tea.
glad that you brought up the birth of Jesus, and that maybe because we're in that season, maybe that's how we got here. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
think about what Sparkle was going with it, which because she kind of mentioned like men are looking for virgins, right? And that what she was saying, like,
Yes, yes,
and
yes, yes,
how does
yes,
that work if a woman was raped,
yes,
and
yes.
I don't know why this sits on my mind, and I know it's going to be controversial, but I'm gonna say it anyway, right? We can talk later offline if you want to talk about it, but sometimes there's a deceiving thing that happens when we're given a story, whether it be biblical or
Mm-hmm.
Quranic, when we're given a story in a way that makes it seem like it's untouchable, meaning that it couldn't happen to us. So I'm gonna
Right.
refer to, and I'm going to get scripture on you guys. Please forgive me, but don't forget me. I'm going to refer to the birth of Jesus, and then I'm going to and I'm also going to refer to the birth of Hagar and her situation for those who are Bible bumpers and understand.
Just like that.
The birth of Jesus is considered the immaculate conception.
Perception. Yes.
So, just going back on what Sparkle said, men are looking for a virgin because they feel
Mm-hmm.
like a woman is pure, because she's a virgin. And then I dealt with the virginity of the mind, right? The womb of the mind,
Mm-hmm.
right? If someone was to tell us that the only way that we would get a figure like a Jesus, if you study his characteristics and all that he was deputized to do and will do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the only way that this Jesus figure can come to us is if it's an immaculate conception. That somebody is painting a narrative that a woman have to be perfect in order for a child to come into the world to save the world. I'm going to drop that there. Make y'all think, right? Because there's also a story in the Bible that deals with Sarah and Hagar. And if you've read the Bible, you'll see that a lot of it is really talking about like homegirl Mary down the block and Hagar around the corner. Like these things are not far removed from us. Besides the fact that there were some things that was going on in the biblical time that, we didn't we don't know is going on right now. But the idea that Sarah gave Hagar to her husband and he went into her and she had a child, and then she got upset and jealous, and then he decided to kick her out, and she was wandering in the wilderness. That wasn't depicted as an immaculate conception, but in that story it kind of gives you an understanding of what happened, and nothing it's nothing new under the sun, because we experience these situations in modern day time where a woman get into a relationship with someone, we ain't gonna say that she gave the woman to the other man, but whatever, and then she get pregnant. Now there's a rift, and then the woman get put out, and she's a single parent, and she's running from pillar to between the two mountains, trying to figure out what's going, how she gonna live with her new child. My point in saying all this is that when you brought up the birth of Jesus and the sensationalism that come behind that, and I mean this respectfully, someone designed it so that our mind would think that our mind and men's mind, that in order for us to bring into the world a pure boy, that we have to be pure and immaculate, when circumstances don't necessarily have to be that way in order to bring in a child of God. So, okay, I'm done preaching. I'm sorry. But that's why, Tracy, you brought it. So I'm like, maybe she's like, okay, maybe we got there because of this. And I'm like, yeah, maybe we got there because of this, because maybe this needs to be brought into the conversation. Yeah, we as women, we've been through some stuff. So that's it. I'm done. I hope you heard all that. Because you're the one that started this.
I did.
No, I'm talking about Sparkle. I'm talking about
Sparkle. Yes, it's just me bleeding again. And who else but my sis stars who understands why I'm bleeding? I'm bleeding because I'm raped. Why I'm bleeding? I'm bleeding because I was hurt. It's like a trail of blood. And then someone stops and says, hey, you need the healing. And that someone, it can be one of you all, it can be a neighbor, it could be anybody. So this is me reframing loneliness, right? Getting you all together, us on one platform, together, like-minded, to talk about this topic in a way that it hasn't been talked about before. Even you saying, I shouldn't even say this is controversial, but I'm going to say it. That's the energy that I need to hear right now in order to keep healing. Heather, we haven't heard from you in a little while. I do have a question for you, unless you would like to add to what you already heard.
I've been quiet, but I've been listening. So,
So do you have a one-word reflection before I ask you your question?
On what we just talked about, or just
Or what you just heard?
um, understand, I guess, would be my one word for I can relate, understand.
Tanya, did you like to add something? Is it my mic this time again?
No, I had my mic on mute.
Oh,
So
okay,
that was
okay.
me. Yeah, I don't need to add anything.
All right, good. I mean, good as far as like I didn't want to miss you before I moved on.
Right.
So the community action question is for all of you because you all work in the community. And then after this question, we're just going to transition on techniques into balance, and then we're going to slide our way to the left until next time, and give our thanks. I don't want to keep everybody too long on this Sunday evening. Um, but the community action is, how can we as women, as ladies, as sisters, support others who may feel isolated during this season? How can we do that? Can we share some tips? I think we might have said some that we do, but how can we go a step further as community leaders to help support women who are feeling isolated during this season? That's for you, Heather. You're going to start us off with that question.
I think letting people know that your door is open. My door is always open to people. Like, I'm willing to go have coffee and talk to anybody. And that is one thing that I always offer out, and let people know that I'm there. I feel like that's one thing that if anyone knows me or follows me or friends with me on social media, that I am a person that you can reach out to, and my door is always open to meet and talk. And getting involved in anything you can locally during the holidays, volunteering, things of like that. But really, with anyone that knows me, it's mainly letting people know that I'm always there. I'm always willing to stop whatever I'm doing for a friend, meet with them, talk to them. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
I'll go next. I think that giving people random calls is important, right? Like,
That's a good one.
I'm thinking of you. You know, like, what you up to?
Yeah.
Right?
Real quick before you go, that's another thing too. I always like to text people or call them and just like say something out of the blue.
Yeah.
I would just be like, I'm thinking of you right now. And it means a lot to people.
Mhm.
And it's nice times they'll be like, I didn't even know I'm actually going through something right now. And I'm like, oh, I did good. But it feels good. It does. It feels good. Because I know I like that.
Yeah.
I know it feels good to me. And sometimes it's just that little thing like that changes someone's day completely. So I'll let you keep going. But yeah.
No, you're right on it, because that do create an opportunity for somebody to reach back out. You know, you don't know what's gonna be. What, you know, I tell myself this: if somebody walk past my mind, then I'm meant to reach out and check on them. And so I'll just randomly check on a person, and then I'm a listener. So like, if I'm listening to see where I can be helpful. So the next step will be, hey, let's get outside, or why don't you come down, try to keep people active. Like, people look at me like, oh, you always busy, work, and you working. I'm like, yeah, I like it. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not being worked, I'm working. And I like being active, and I like having that type of energy. I sleep well. When I go down, like, it's over. So yeah, that's one of the things, is just a random reaching out. And I tell myself, if somebody walk past my mind, I'm going to reach out to them. And if that reaching out means that I need to be available for that person, I make myself available.
Yes, and those two ladies have done that to me, and look at us here now. Because of that reaching out has got us right here, ladies.
Yeah, we don't want no one to feel like they're alone. You're not alone, first of all. There's no one ever alone. Even in the sicknesses, even in the thoughts, there's always someone that is going through something. And it's like, I don't know, it's just reminding people of that there's someone thinking about you. I like those calls too, by the way.
Gotcha.
I treat people the way I want to be treated. So I'll be honest, I'll be like, do unto others. What's it, the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you will want to do. I follow that in the name of Jesus. Hey. That was one of the things that was given. Like, it's so easy. It's easy.
Anyone else want to offer that advice? Thank you, ladies. Tanya, Tracy, Miss Erudite.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
What you jamming to over there?
Joe, a deer, a female deer.
So, if you could redefine the holidays yourself, what would that look like? Would that look like knitting a sweater for you, Tracy?
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I found a new love for that. I have a lot of scarves, so just text me what color you like, and I got you. I'll make you a scarf. It won't be one that's real long. It'll be nice. But if you would like one, just let me know. I got you. I'll make a scarf. Just let me know the colors. So
so
that's one way of clearing your mind. It really relaxes me. And you know what else is nice? I so you find a circle, take some white computer paper, and you fold it in four. If you want to fold it again, if you have enough space to fold it, you fold it like that. And then you just take a nice scissor. I wish I would have thought of this before.
mhm.
And you just make little slits on that circle, and when you open it, you have a nice snowflake. And that is very relaxing to cut and make snowflakes. Very relaxing. So this season, even after the holiday season, I find myself sometimes making snowflakes because it's just relaxing. That's all. Very relaxing.
That's a good idea.
That's
Thank you for that. I think I'm gonna do because I'm working on redoing a theme at the building, and so I think I'm gonna do snowflakes
snowflakes. I
draping
love
from the
snowflakes.
ceiling. That's nice. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna
Hmm.
work on that tomorrow.
I started doing that with my son. We have been putting cut up snowflakes and put them in the window. Well, my
Yes.
husband's not so into it,
Yes.
but my son, I'm like, we got to do this. It's a tradition. We just started it last year, and I forgot how
Yes.
fun it was to make snowflakes. It was
Yes.
so much fun.
Yes. Yes.
And
I
it's like
truly
these
love
cool
it.
way you come up with, and these little things that you make, and try to get all serious, and it's a good time. I love it.
Yes.
I'm with you
It's
on
it's
the
fun.
snowflakes.
I'll bring you some snowflakes over to Yoka. I'll make some in my booth tomorrow.
Okay.
I want to know what have you all learned, and what have you learned different from what you learned before you came to this platform, and what about this or what about this topic resonates with you the most right now? So if you haven't learned anything, just tell me what about this topic most resonates with you from what you've been hearing.
One thing I learned today was I'm doing the right thing when it comes to my mind and my body, and making sure I just try and stay up on it, like drinking my juice, whether it be just throwing thanks to my community. I didn't get a chance to thank everybody who donated money to me. I was able to buy myself a juicer. That was my investment, to buy me a really good juicer, which is a Nama juicer. And just, I know it, I need to do it. And I know that the stretches that I do here and there, my little breathing exercises that I do in the bed, it's something that I know I'm doing the right thing. And how this topic resonates with me is that I'm not alone. After all this time, I know I'm not. I always feel that I'm not alone, but I know for sure now that I know it's including family and friends. I may not have a lot of family up here, but I do have my family that I created, which are all my friends that I have here. And I'm a very, very loyal person. So I love, like, with my soul and my heart, love my friends that are my family. So, yes, I love them.
Wonderful.
I learned that Tracy will never share her last bag of nuts with any of us. If she has, so we all know that if you want a bag, and she gotta wait till she buys another one because she's not gonna give it to you. So we got it now. So that's
Yes.
right. But no, that I think if anything, I'm hearing friendship means a lot to a lot of us and their
Yes.
family, and that's been something huge for me. So when you hear people talk about that, that means a lot, and that we're all not so traditional. We all do things differently. That's nice too. So that's what I got out of today. I got a lot of listening, which I'm not good at. Usually I like to talk. I did a lot of listening, so I got that too. Thanks, guys.
I learned that although I don't believe I actually experienced loneliness according to the definition, but that there is a level of loneliness because you're thinking that other people can't relate with something that you're going to in particular. you know. And so I felt that I felt that with Tracy, not just the idea of a sickness, but like, you know, even with the breakup, you know, it's like you don't really understand what that person is mourning. What is it's a mourning? It's grief and it's a mourning. Like we don't understand how that person is feeling during that mourning process. And because of that, that person can feel lonely because no one really can understand. And the same thing like with a health condition, you know. Um, until you find someone that you can talk to that can relate and be like, girl, yeah, he did that to you. Let me tell you let me tell you what happened with me. And then y'all can figure out how to relate. And sometimes bonds are made that way, you know, because the feeling of not being alone in your situation. What else was I supposed to answer? I forgot.
No, you were fine.
Okay.
One thing real quick, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt. But Tracy had said one thing, and that was about her always giving, you know, with the nuts, for example. And that was something I always did to handle as what I thought was loneliness, was always giving to people. And in the end, I never felt great. It wasn't healing me at all. Every time I was giving every part of me and everything away. So when Tracy brought that up, it was nice because I slowed down a lot, you know, and gave to me once in a while. And it made me a better person and more helpful to others than I was before. But yeah, that was definitely something else I learned today too. So thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Tracy, Heather said you're a rock star in the private comments.
I see that. Thank you, Heather. Thank you.
It ain't
Thank
no private no
you.
more, right?
They all know
Parker,
now.
you do have a lot of good speakers on here. Have a lot of good speakers. I learned more about her diagnosis. One of the young ladies and her diagnosis and how she handles situations. I learned a lot from that.
Oh, wow, thank
You
you.
know, I think a lot of people had a lot of good stories.
They did. Yes. Yes.
And I want to say for me, my reframing loneliness, I already mentioned it earlier, is to have a platform like this to create this space of solidarity, to, you know, display in real time what unity looks like. Um, what I learned today is that I be I do a lot. Like I really need to be more centered. But I enjoy like thriving during chaos. Like I wait to the last minute to be like shuffling it. Like look at how many looks I went through already to just settle the way I look right now. Like this should have been done when I came in, right? But like my transitions always happen out loud. Like I'm very colorful, I'm very flamboyant, you know, I learned that it's okay to be that when you're in a safe space because nobody said, "Girl, what you got on?" Nobody thought it. Nobody face looked at it. You guys were able to pick up, and so I'm learning, and I have learned today to trust my instincts, if that makes any sense. And Miss Erudite, um, just tell us a little bit about.
Just tell us a little bit about.
I guess how can we as women
I guess
support
how
others?
can we as women support others?
I'm a big supporter of other women. I always try to um, give them some type of speaking positive into their life. I always let them know that you are in control of your life. So, say if someone is battling depression, anxiety, and different things like that, I tell them to breathe, calm down. I'm always telling someone, listen, you have to take control of your life because that's like I said, goes back to having a knowledge yourself. Because when a person, especially when it's a parent, you come before anything and anyone. Because if you're not straight, you are not able to take care of your children. Those are your seeds. How can you take care of your children if you're in a mental institution? So there you have to know everybody deal with different when it comes to different coping mechanisms, because some people will have a nervous breakdown. And then you have ones like, no, I have to be here for my seeds. So I have to find something that's not going to get me into that state.
So I want to say thank you
So I want to say thank you
all for your openness
all for your.
and for creating such a meaningful conversation today. We're going to close out with a final reflections. And this is the opportunity that I want everyone to, you know, in one sentence or two, even if it could be a word, how would you encourage one of our listeners today, someone who may be feeling lonely or um, alone this holiday season? In a sentence or two, or a word or two, how would you encourage someone who may be feeling lonely? And remember, this is our final reflection, so make it count, ladies, and then we're out of here. I'm going to start with Miss Erudite, and we're going to go in reverse. So,
So,
uh, how would you
how would you
encourage someone
encourage
who might
someone
be
who might
feeling
be feeling
lonely this
lonely this
holiday
holiday
season?
season?
Speaking,
Did I just ask you that?
yeah, speaking positive
Oh,
into existence. They need to be speaking positivity into their existence.
right.
Staying
Okay.
positive and productive. That will get you out of being lonely.
Okay. Tracy,
Positivity, productivity.
thank you, Miss
Um,
Erudite.
I would say just we have these phones. I would say pick up the phone and just reach out to somebody. Reach out. Reach out and touch someone. Reach out. Go for a walk. Rub yourself right here. Feels good when you rub yourself right here. You know what I'm saying? Reach out, call somebody. Even if you feel like you that person, like, oh, I just called them. Just call them. It's okay. Call. Reach out. That's my thing. Till next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Sister Tioka.
I would say embrace the loneliness and explore the thoughts within it and see what you can get positive out of it.
How am I supposed to follow that? That was beautiful. Really? And then Tracy before that, everything they said. Your friends want to hear from you. Your real friends, your close friends love you, and they are not going to be upset that you call them or reach out to them. That's why they're your friends, and they want to help you. I mean, I know any friend of mine that would reach out to me, I'd reach right back. So, and everything Tioka said, everything else, it was all good.
Right.
Wait, but Sparkle, you said what did you have up there?
Oh, reframing loneliness.
So we really need to tell everybody to reframe
Mm-hmm.
the loneliness.
Connect with yourself. That's what I did. A lot of connecting and thinking. It's not a bad thing because you learn from it, like Sister Tioka said. But taking that time to understand without ignoring. Because ignore it, it's always there.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered some magazines, some bird magazines. I've been going for walks. I've been, you know, going with my son to work out. Um, Holding on to neighbors, friends, you ladies, all of us. For people who don't have anyone or choose not to have anyone, I say put this on replay. Add this to your favorite list. You know, put this on your playlist. Listen to us while you're in the car. Listen to us when you're in the gym. Listen to us when you're on a walk, to remind yourself that you are not alone. if it's not the holidays, we are still with you because we are every woman. These sisters on this call. Next thing you know, we might be right in front of you, talk about how you doing today. So, I would just, I created some fitness plans. I put them on a wall. I got some colors that I'm working on. I'm really tuning into colors and sound and vibration. That's the way that I'm reframing loneliness. And as far as traditions go, I have a daughter who is 16 who, if she tells me jump, I'll say hi, hi, but she don't really know that, but I think she knows that. So, when she wants to embrace the season in any way she wants to, I allow her to be and live in color. She guides me, she shows me, she teaches me, and as I guide her and show her and teach her, and that's another reason why I homeschooled her. So my reframing of my loneliness is pretty much creating around my children's needs and pretty much bringing color and life to how they see things. So I would just, come back and watch this, ladies and gentlemen, if you're feeling like, no one is thinking about you. These ladies here, we're thinking about you. So
Yes.
about next episode, we'll be coming back in the new year. I believe that's what we'll be doing now that,
Yes.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
And like I promised, my executive producer over here, Sister Tioka, that we're going to be adding some promotions to the
Nice.
platform. So people who have businesses, most especially women, we're going to promote you. We want to uplift you. It's a lot going on in the realm of womanhood. There's a shift going on too. So we want to hold on tight to one another. And we're going to come back with more empowerment, more inspiration. And if you have any topics of conversation that you would like any of us sisters to cover, please put your suggestions in the box wherever you can, because we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're pretty much anywhere you can find us. So let us know what you think that we should be talking about, and that's what we'll talk about. And that's all I really have for everyone this evening. I want to respect everyone's time. I said an hour and a half, but we didn't do too bad, right?
Mm-mm.
So I just want to tell everyone happy New Year, and stay alive in 25 is the
I
is the
like it.
motto that we're
I
we're
hear it.
striving for. Not only staying alive, but staying alive in a holistic way, right? In an organic way where it feels natural
Yes.
and not pressure to push, where we can breathe and our respiratory is healthy and we're upright, right? And just I really appreciate you all. I might be rambling at this point. Tanya, did you say something already about?
No, no, I'm
Okay.
good. Cause my phone kept going dead, so I'm in, but it probably don't go back dead, and it's on the charger, so that means my charger ain't
Oh,
working.
well, if that's the case, really quick, what last words would you like to offer people who might be feeling lonely around the holidays?
Um, well, I just like to stay in contact with people and just tell them to reach out to other loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Study just being lonely, just do something. Give them advice to do something for themselves. You know,
Yeah.
because everybody don't have to be like
Mm-mm.
Is she still there, Tanya?
I think it's
Okay.
frozen.
She's frozen.
Oh, it's frozen. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. I think I'm adding a banner here. So with that being
Oh,
said, we're gonna hurry up and wrap this up because we're still live, and we're gonna close out with a Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa. Real people, real talk, and real time. Thank you for listening and good night. We'll be back next year. Stay alive in 25.
I like that.